What's up, guys? Nate with Nate's Nerd News, this time in the virtual studio. Wow, this is going to be exciting. Yeah, as you can see, the format has changed. I have a special guest today, a man by many names. I'm very, very excited to introduce this guy. It is a blessing. I'm going to tell you how we know each other, but I want to introduce him. It's a blessing that he's on here. I'm really, really excited. We've been talking about this for a while. He goes by many names. You might know him on YouTube or TikTok or Instagram. You might know his Star Wars Trust in the Force. You might know him as This Comic Cooks. I know him as my buddy Trent. Trent Vactor is in the building. Say what's up, brother.
Hello, Nate's Nerd News. This is amazing. I have loved this show from episode 1. I can't wait to talk to my boy Nate.
Come on, man. Wow. This again, man, Trent, like we were talking about earlier, man, this is so exciting. For the audience, if they don't know how we met, this is actually a really funny story, and I think it's fitting to just jump right into it. Me and him are both believers, praise God. We were in a Bible study, a couple's Bible study, and had met in a couple's Bible study a couple months ago. Shout out the Covenant crew. Come on. And yeah, and so we had met, and like one of the last weeks we had like kind of, I mean, we'd already met and talked, but one of the last weeks we like noticed, I think I had made a comment about his son's Star Wars shirt. And it was awesome because I have a tattoo of it right here. And then I saw it, and then he was saying something, and then I saw he was wearing a Darth Maul shirt, and then it just took off, man. Then the nerds unite, Trent.
Yes, that's was amazing because I was thinking, what if my son had not worn that shirt that day? And then what if I had not worn that? Because we had been going to that for weeks, but we had never like specifically spoken. And then that was the kickoff. That was like the icebreaker. So dude, that was amazing.
Yeah, I'm so glad that happened. That was funny because and then it was like, and then you said, I remember I was like, dude, so you like Star Wars? You're like, I actually run a Star Wars YouTube channel. And then I was like, no way. I literally was immediately looked at Lauren, my wife, and I'm like, we are absolutely getting him on this podcast.
Yes.
So that's awesome. So we've been talking about it a couple weeks here. But dude, again, thank you so much for being here. I'm just pumped. Like, are you pumped?
I've been looking forward to this for weeks. When you first invited me on, I was like, this is amazing. I binged every episode when you first told me, and I was like, I have to do all of my Nate homework. I have to get ready for this. And then every week since, I've been like, okay, when's gonna be my week? When's gonna be my week? It's finally my week. Let's go.
There it is, man. Well, hey, I'm gonna tell you right now, bro, as I was saying this earlier, we're gonna have a couple more weeks. We're gonna have you, if you're down, I'd love to have you on this podcast. I already know we're gonna be good buds, and I already know that, listen, we're gonna have a good time doing this episode. And man, we speak the same language here, you know?
It is amazing how much our worlds collide. Like there's so many incursions that are occurring right now.
Come on, let's go. Well, let's get right into it, dude. That was a great one right there. So guys, first we are going to do what I call, it's a fun segment. It's called the Nate's Flashpoint Paradox. And speaking to the audience here, basically, if you guys don't know, my small audience, if you guys don't know what this is, it's basically a moment for Trent to introduce himself. He's going to have about a minute to 2 minutes on the clock to tell him, and it's open-ended. He's going to tell us who he is, how he became a nerd, maybe share a fun memory. And then, just like the Flashpoint Paradox and Flash himself, I'm going to throw some rapid-fire questions at you. Obviously, we know the Flashpoint Paradox is a comic event where we get to reset. So this is our moment to reset and introduce. You got 1 to 2 minutes on the clock going right now. Tell us who you are, brother.
Man, I am, as Nate said, Trent Vactor. I go by Vactor online most of the time just because, real quick story, I went by my first name all throughout school. I was Trent. And then when I got to college, I started going by my middle name, Justin. So I had people who knew me as Trent, and I had people who knew me as Justin. So I was like, why don't I just go by Vactor, which is my last name? So I was like, all right, Vactor from now on. So I have been podcasting since 2005. I've got so many comic book and Star Wars and Star Trek and Lord of the Rings and all of these fandoms and all of these things that I enjoy and that I love. And I just have to release them. I'm a big movie guy, which is another thing that I connect with Nate on, where I want to be like a film scholar. Like I love talking about movies, TV, comic books. And I haven't even gotten to video games yet. I haven't even talked to you about video games. So I love all kinds of content and media and entertainment. So I actually used to have a podcast called Entertainment Overload, where I talked about every form of entertainment possible. But now I've kind of whittled everything down to right now, I'm currently doing This Comic Cooks, which is a comic book channel on YouTube, Trust in the Force, which is a Star Wars channel, and then I have a Star Trek podcast called Treknopod. So those are kind of my
That
3
is
worlds right
awesome.
now. Yeah.
Oh, let's go. Okay, man. Great intro, Trent. Well,
Thank
welcome
you.
to the show again.
Thank you.
All right, I'm gonna throw some rapid fire questions. Everybody's gonna real get
Ooh.
to know the Trent lore here with
Oh, I
some of his
can't wait.
favorite stuff. Okay, first things first. I need to know your favorite movie of 2025
Ooh, 2025. Ooh,
or a
man.
favorite.
Okay. Oh, now I'm like, wait a minute. Did that come out in 2025? I'm looking at my movie release schedule calendar. There were, 2025 was kind of like a lower year in
Yeah,
my kind of movie going.
compared to what 2026 and 2027 is gonna be insane.
Yes. You know what? Superman. I'm gonna say
Love it.
Superman was my number 1 movie of the year, and then Fantastic Four was number 2. Those were
Let's
my
go. Superman was
2
my
big
number one as
movies.
well. So again, we just
Yes.
linked up right there. Let's
Yes.
go.
Yes.
Okay. I need to know your favorite comic book storyline of all time, like in the
Ooh,
comics,
storyline.
specifically comics,
Dang. Mm.
or maybe a favorite. I know it gets pressures on when it's like
Yes.
the
Man.
favorite, but maybe just one that pops into your head that's a favorite of yours.
Yes. There are so many that I love.
Yeah.
But you know what? I'm gonna go with DC Comics' Crisis on Infinite Earths, which was a mind-shattering crossover event, and it
Yeah.
influenced so many things. It has my favorite comic book cover of all time, which is Superman holding Supergirl's dead body for Crisis on Infinite Earths issue number 7. I have a poster of it right here. I probably should have
What? Let's
brought it
go.
back
Totally
out,
see that.
but
Absolutely.
that image, when I was a kid, that was like, what could make Superman cry? It broke my brain to see
Yeah.
Superman crying, holding Supergirl. And I was like, I have to know. Cause like to me, Superman infallible, like nothing could touch him, nothing could hurt him.
Yeah.
So that I'm gonna say Crisis on Infinite Earths because it was so influential on so many comic books, and that cover itself, which I actually have a video on my YouTube channel talking about that cover specifically.
Yeah.
There's so many parodies and homages to that cover throughout comic books. So Crisis on Infinite Earths.
Oh, I love that. Okay, I need to know your favorite comic book character, but I want it to be a niche character. So your favorite niche comic
Oh
book
man,
character.
niche. Well, you probably tell that I have Spider-Man is my all-time favorite, whether that's
Love
Peter
it.
Parker or Miles Morales.
Yeah.
Man, you know what? I'm gonna say, just for the purposes of a niche character that probably a lot of people don't talk about, is Forget Me Not. And he is a mutant, an X-Men, and his mutant power is as soon as you stop thinking about him, you forget him. His mutant power is a curse. So
Whoa.
imagine you go through life and anyone that you're speaking with forgets you exist as soon as you stop talking to them. And so that also, I always love when they have characters that they retroactively put in, kind of like the Sentry, where it's like,
Yes,
oh yeah,
totally.
he was there, you just didn't know about him. He was there the whole time.
Yeah.
Forget Me Not is one of those characters. It's like, yeah, he's actually been there this whole time. You forgot him. You as the reader forgot that he existed. So I like it when they take the powers and like it's kind of like almost like a fourth wall breaking thing.
That's so
Yeah.
cool. Yeah, wow, that's really interesting. I'd
So-
never heard of that. That's
Yeah.
awesome.
Forget Me Not is
Okay.
great. They need to put him in a movie for sure.
Let's go. Okay, one of the ones was what was your most iconic cover that
Ooh.
that you love? And it sounds like it is that. Do you have another one off the top of your head that you really, really like? I know that's your number one, which is awesome.
Yes. Also, Amazing Spider-Man. There is a couple. Well, the iconic cover that they homaged in Spider-Man 2, Sam Raimi.
Okay, yeah.
Where he's saying Spider-Man No More, which is Amazing Spider-Man number 50, and he's walking away and the costume is in the trash can. That is one of my all-time favorite covers. There's another one, Amazing Spider-Man, I want to say it's 47, where Green Goblin is holding him and he's holding him by a rope. He's flying on the Goblin glider, holding Spider-Man by a rope. And Spider-Man's mask is off. He's in his civilian clothes, but they're ripping, and you could see the Spider-Man coming out. And as a kid, this is another one that was like, when I saw that, I was like,
whoa,
they're going to expose Peter Parker. He's going to his secret identity. And to me, when I was a kid, his secret identity was sacred. It was like, you cannot know that he's Peter Parker. Like the secret identity was so sacred to me. So seeing that on a comic book cover where it was like, The Green Goblin is exposing him. I can't believe this.
Yeah. Love that. That's an incredible answer. Okay. What is the last Star Wars movie in your ranking? Because we
Ooh,
don't say we hate any Star Wars movie over here.
yes.
We just want to know what's the last one.
You know, for a while, it was Attack of the Clones. And what's funny
Okay.
is I saw that one more times. I want to say I saw that one like 6 times in the theater. I don't know why. I kept seeing it because it was my least favorite movie of the Star Wars movies at the time. Now I will say Rise of Skywalker. Episode
Yeah.
9, Rise of Skywalker is my least favorite. Even though I like parts of every movie,
Yeah.
Episode 9 specifically, Babu Frick, the character that is going to be in Mandalorian and Grogu. Hey, that character is so funny, and my wife loves him. So that's I like parts of Rise of Skywalker, but I was like, man, there's just there's so many opportunities that it could have been better.
I know. Well, yeah. Oh man, we are linked up so much. You have no idea. Okay, and then last question. Let's see here. What is the favorite? I asked. This is a question I love to ask. What is your most favorite, like nerd item or memorabilia piece that you have in your collection, or maybe have had in the past? I don't know if you still have, that is like with you right now. Maybe not like obviously near you, but like in your house.
Yeah, I would say right now there's 2. One, my wife got me a custom Funko Pop, which is me, and
Let's go.
I'm holding
Love that.
a comic book in one hand, and I'm holding a bowl of ramen noodles in another hand because I am a quarter Japanese. I actually grew up in Japan. My dad was in the Air Force, and so I went to high school in Korea, and then middle school in Korea and high school in Japan. And so I spent time in Japan. I have a huge Japanese cultural imprint on me. I'm still trying to learn on Duolingo Japanese. It's funny because like I took Japanese in high school, I took it in college, but I still can't speak more than introductory phrases. But so yeah, those are my 2 worlds like coming up alive. The comic books. I wish it was, man, he should have had like a lightsaber on his shirt or something. But that and then I also built a lightsaber at Galaxy's Edge. You can't see it. But it's a little bit out of the frame.
What class did you go with? What was out of the 4 classes?
I was, what's the dang? And
it's like there's like elemental, which is like the like kind of like naturistic. Then there's like I don't remember the names, but I think power and control is kind of like the Sith
I think that's what it was. Yeah.
Okay.
Because it was like I was trying to get it Empire. My wife, which you saw, has a Darth Vader tattoo on her back, and the very first image of my wife that I ever saw was her wearing a Darth Vader mask in a red dress. So she was like in a like she was going out to a club, like a red dress, and then she had a Darth Vader mask on. That was the first image of her that I ever saw. And I said, I need to meet that person. So she's a huge Darth Vader fan. And so it kind of, when I went to build the lightsaber, I was like, oh, let me do something like Empire.
Oh, that's cool. Paying homage to like, that's just memorable. That's awesome. Yes. Dude, you know how linked up we are right now? I'm not even lying. That's my last question. So those who love the Flashpoint Paradox, make sure to jump in the comments and tell us if you like that segment or not. Come on. Love it. You now know Trent.
Amazing.
But before we move on to the next one, that's so funny you say that, dude. Everybody talks about like the when you know moment, like type of thing. Well, I'm not lying. Like if I could literally pick that moment with my wife, we were dating and we were in Galaxy's Edge and we had just created lightsabers. I'm not even lying, dude. We had just created lightsabers and we had gone and like, we were dating and we were like working like, lower jobs. Like I wasn't in my career. I think I was still trying to work my way through college and, she was graduating or whatever. And, we had gone there. And so we're obviously like on a budget, we're like da-da-da-da. And so we're like, okay, well maybe we should like, we're so kind of obsessed because we have these lightsabers, but let's buy like a cool lightsaber. Like, let's do something fun. And so we wanted to buy one of the legacy lightsabers. So we had bought these 2, which are Ahsoka's. And so I was like, that's so cool. Like, how fun is that? Because we're like, oh, we'll both have one. Wait, I don't know if you can still hear me. We'll both have one. But this is my moment. We walk out. I think it's it's not Savvy's Workshop. It might be Savvy's Workshop is what it is. No, that's where we do it. Doc Ondar's Den of Antiquities.
Yes, that's right. That's right. Yes,
and we walk out and Lauren's like, we like looked at each other and we're like, dude, should we go get another one? And she's like, let's go get another one. And I'm not lying. And so we literally went back in and we bought Shadow Mall. which was so cool. Like, not only was that just like the moment I was like, we just built, now we have literally with Ahsoka's 2, R2, we have a collection of 5 lightsabers. Like, she was the moment I was like, she was so into it with me because she's not like a nerd
Oh,
like us. Like,
man.
so she was, and I was where I was like, oh my gosh, I literally love you like so much.
That
Like,
is
it was cool.
amazing.
She totally
That
like
is
wore on
fantastic.
the nerd persona, which was just really,
Yes.
really cool.
That is
But
amazing. I love that.
that's funny that it's kind of like same wave right there. But anyways,
Yes.
guys, let's move on to the next segment. Trent, my guy, let's see here. This is a fun one. We're gonna go our top 10 superhero movies. This is a ranking. It's fun because like usually I have these pretty themed out, but I'm like the theme of this episode to my audience is, dude, let's just nerd out because we can talk about all of it, and that's what I'm excited about. So I wanted to like loop in everything. I'm going public with mine. I've never shared mine. I actually just created a letterbox list. And so
Yes.
so I want to
I need to
know,
do
but
that.
Trent, you are my guest. If you have yours ready, man, I would love to hear your top 10. If you want, you can throw an honorable mention in there. Like it's really open-ended. All I say is start at the bottom and then like start at your last. So go
Okay.
ahead.
Yeah. All of these could probably be my number one. I'll just say
Love
that.
it.
Like these
Yeah.
top 10, I love all of these movies. But of the group, I'm going to say number 10 is a movie that my wife took me on one of our very first dates
Yeah.
when we were first meeting each other. Was okay, this is the Marvel movie that's out this year. He's into Marvel. He's gonna love this. I'm gonna take
Yeah.
him for his birthday. I'm gonna buy his ticket. And it was just happened to be Captain America Civil War, the
Oh,
second
wow.
Captain America movie. I'm sorry, Civil War. I'm sorry. Winter Soldier.
Winter Soldier.
I'm sorry. Sorry. My
Yep.
fault. The second Captain America movie.
Yeah.
Winter Soldier. First of all, that storyline, Winter Soldier, is
Yeah.
amazing because when I was growing up, it was basically 2 characters that in Marvel you could never bring them back. Number 1, Uncle Ben. His death
Yep.
is cemented in Spider-Man's lore, his history, like who he is, what he is
Yeah, exactly.
because
It's like,
of
how would
Uncle
you?
Ben.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's like you can't bring him back because that would almost erase everything that he
Like
meant.
why he is Spider-Man. Yeah.
Yes, the other character was Bucky. When I was growing up, you did not touch Bucky. It was like he is sacred to Cap's history and his story. You cannot bring him back. And the thinking at the time was he's so goofy. Like it's so of the time. Like
Yeah,
he's a
campy.
kid. Like he's like Robin, but for Captain America. And it's like, how do you do that? And so when Ed Brubaker brought him back in the comics, it was like mind blowing, number 1. And then number 2, what he evolved into as the Winter Soldier.
Yeah.
And so to bring that storyline into Captain America, because First Avenger for me is fine. I'm just not a big World War II guy. And so
Yeah.
like that era and that time period, it just, although I do love when Steve Rogers jumps on the grenade and it's like,
Yeah,
that
love
is
it. Yeah.
who Steve Rogers is. I was like, I love
That's
that.
the best moment of that movie. Absolutely.
Yes. But I felt like when Winter Soldier came out, it was like, this is Captain America on another level. Like it's amazing how good this is. And the Russo brothers ended up doing Civil War and Endgame and all these other ones. It's like this movie is special to me because of my wife and because of the comic book storyline. So that was my number 10. Long answer
I
of
love, dude. Again, you're gonna love hearing mine because we are so synced up. It's not even funny. I'm like
Yes,
kind of
yes.
like hovering right now. Let's keep going. Yeah,
Yes.
this is awesome.
Okay, man. Like I said, all of these could be my number 1. And I
hear
asked
it.
Nate
Yep, it's how you feel today. Yeah.
before, can I do a tie? Because there's some of these, and a lot of these are going to be ties. This one, The Avengers, the first Avengers movie.
Come on.
And I'm also going to go Avengers Endgame. Those
Okay.
combined. Now, the reason why, the very first Avengers, it was groundbreaking in that it brought all of these storylines together that we had been seeing, the building up of the Marvel Universe had never been done before at that time, culminating in that first movie, the action, the comedy. Like Joss Whedon was hitting on all cylinders back then and everything. And I just watched it with my son the other day and I was like, this movie does not miss. Like everything is good about this movie. I'm loving all of these. Like I quote almost weekly to my wife, we need a plan of attack. I have a plan. Attack. And
exactly.
The Captain America, Cap, they're basically gods. There's only one God, ma'am. And I'm pretty sure he doesn't dress like that.
Yes.
That line makes me laugh every single time. Anyways, all the Avengers coming together, that
Yeah.
movie is amazing. And then Endgame, almost I would say that might be the single best audience moment for me.
Yeah,
On your
absolutely.
left, like, and
Yep.
we see the reaction videos online. It's like, I
Yeah,
love
people
that
do
I was
backflips.
there. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
There
yeah,
was a
yeah.
guy next to me. It might have been Nate. He was yelling "Let's go" every 2 seconds. And I was like,
It
this
might have been
guy
me. It
is.
might have been me.
But when on your left, like, man, it was amazing that you didn't know what was going to happen. And then I am Iron Man, like the snap, like just
Oh man.
iconic moments. How are they going to defeat Thanos after the loss in Infinity War? And it was like the 5 years later. Endgame is just amazing. Anyways, those two
There's funny the
Avengers
thing to
movies.
jump in real fast. There's
Yes,
one
yes,
moment that like I was just talking about this the other day. Like I live for like little niche moments. It's almost like the Goosebumps moments. And there's a part, obviously you have like Cap saying like Avengers, like the Avengers
yes,
assemble. But right after he
yes, yes,
says
yes,
assemble, you can hear Thor give like a roar or like a
yes,
yell. He's like,
yes, yes,
and I'm like,
yes,
I literally am like, let's go. Like it almost was
yes,
like Braveheart a little bit. You know what I mean?
yes.
Anyways, keep
That was
going. Sorry.
amazing. Yes, I
Yeah.
love that moment. Man, the Avengers Assemble. Also, that moment when Cap says that it had been teased, and he hadn't
Yes.
said it. They had held it back. They cut it off at one point. I think it was in the second Avengers movie where he's about to say it, and then it cuts
He
to
says in
credits.
the end, yeah.
Yeah,
Post
so
credit. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
the release of Endgame was amazing. Oh, speaking of Goosebumps moments, I didn't mention, man, throw Infinity War in there also. Like this is my
Totally.
three-way Avengers
Yeah.
movie tie. So the Goosebump moment for me is when Peter Parker's hair stands on
Oh,
end
yep.
and he's
Spidey
like
sense.
that. Yeah, that moment, and I will send that to my wife as a GIF constantly. I use that
Yeah, yeah,
all the
yeah.
time. Anyways, so Avengers, I had to throw an X-Men movie in here. So
Yep.
Days of Future Past, I
Come on.
love, and that's another iconic storyline from the comics. But the Quicksilver sequence, which I
Oh,
just watched
yeah,
with my
dude.
son the other day because he loves speedsters. I love speedsters.
Yeah.
And seeing that moment, I was like, I turned to my wife when I saw that in the theater with her, and I said, this is what the Flash movie needs to be like. This moment, this Quicksilver moment, that's what the entire Flash
Especially
movie
with
needs to be like.
the comedic sense almost in
Yes,
that.
yes.
Like the funny
Mhm.
things he does. My word, I could already see like a Wally West doing that, especially
Oh,
not even to
man.
mention like a Barry Allen. Like,
Yes,
yeah, you're totally right. You're totally right.
yes. Yeah, we need a really good Flash movie. The cultural experience of Black Panther, like the way that it got people to come out to the theater and
Yes.
to show Black pride, and
Yeah.
I saw grandmas dressing up in
Dude,
African
same.
garb, like
Yeah.
full, and it's like the sense of community, and also the fact that it was an amazing movie. Ryan Coogler is one of my
Yeah.
favorite directors. He's another guy that doesn't miss. Like every single movie
Every
he
time.
has
Yeah.
done
Every time.
has been fantastic. Chadwick Boseman, like rest in peace. That
Yeah.
was
Rest in peace.
one of the best performances. And to know now looking back on it that he was sick when he was filming that, and like what he had to go through. And that was another thing about the Endgame appearance of him.
Yeah.
Like it has so much more weight now that we know looking
Yeah.
back on it. But also Michael B. Jordan as Killmonger,
Yeah.
like you rooted for Killmonger. Like a lot of people were like, "He's not even a villain. He's like we can understand his
Yeah.
points. Like this is a good villain to have because he's not just black and white mustache twirling." So
Yeah,
Black
exactly.
Panther, amazing. Oh, also the score of Black Panther,
Oh, it's so
fantastic.
good.
All of that.
Yeah. Entire soundtrack is amazing.
Also, the fact that it turned Black Panther into like a mainstream character, the same thing happened for my number 6 selection, which
Yeah.
is my favorite MCU movie of all time. Also, just watched this the other day with my son. The very first Iron Man,
Come
Jon
on.
Favreau, like the MCU would not exist if
Yeah.
Iron Man was not
Literally was talking about
the
this today.
amazing movie that it is.
Yeah.
Robert Downey Jr.'s performance, like career defining performance, saved him on so many levels, resurrected him, brought him back. And what he did for Iron Man is so amazing to me that Iron Man was in the Avengers, but he
Mhm.
was like a C-lister. He wasn't
Yeah.
on Halloween, he wasn't the number one Halloween guy. And it wasn't like he
Totally.
wasn't in every animated show. And also the portrayals of Iron Man was not Robert Downey Jr.'s portrayal. Like his version of Iron Man was not what you got after Iron Man. Every cartoon, every video game, they all sounded like Robert Downey Jr. They all
Yeah,
were like
exactly.
trying to do what he was doing. So,
Yeah.
Iron Man #6, love that movie.
That's a
One of my
great
all-time
explanation.
favorites.
Yeah, that's something funny to jump in here. Like, when he's like, he's producing or he's showing off Jericho in the beginning, and he's like,
Yes,
he's like,
yeah, I love that. Yes,
that's the way Dad did it. That's the way America does it, and it's worked out pretty well so far. Like me and my buddy, we always quote that. That's so funny, dude. Like, yeah, totally. That just kind of like the smart aleck. Just it's a little Bruce Wayne a little bit.
Yes,
But it's so just Robert Downey Jr. And the fact that like, yeah, to see that the studio didn't want to take a chance on him, and Jon Favreau's like, no, we got to do it. And then literally now he's like the highest paid actor almost ever. Like, you know what I mean?
100%. Like, think about the MCU without Tony Stark, like without Iron Man, without Robert Downey Jr. They turned him into like the Spider-Man. Like he's the linchpin of the MCU. Whereas like in the comic books, I think Spider-Man is more that the mascot of Marvel. Like when you think about Marvel, you think about Spider-Man. So I think with the MCU, it's just amazing what they were able to accomplish with that first Iron Man movie. And the second and the third, I don't think ever reached those heights of the first Iron Man movie. Also, the Tony Stark built this in a cave.
Yeah. And I love how they revisited that in what was it? Far From Home.
Yes,
and you know how like it's off the Edith classes, and it was they brought back the act. I love that. Yeah, dude. Obadiah, all of that is just amazing, dude. Like, yeah. Anyways,
fantastic. Okay, growing up, the 1989 Tim Burton Batman was iconic for me. Like the bat symbol behind you, like that logo was everywhere with the yellow oval, and that. You think about iconic scores like the Danny Elfman Batman theme, and then later the animated series kind of used a version of that. That first Batman, it was amazing because that was when you were thinking about Batman before that, it was the campy, it was the Adam West Batman, and that brought this level of like, oh, this can be serious.
Yeah.
Which another movie on my list is going to bring that back as well. Also, a tie for me, Batman Returns. I also love that movie with the Penguin.
Love it too.
Yeah, that, and it's like a Christmas movie.
Oh, yes,
Danny Tim Burton's like aesthetic of it is just like, oh man, this feels like a video game, which they did have a Batman Returns video game, which I loved as well. But those two Batman movies were fantastic.
I love it. Yeah, they're one movie together. I mean, come on.
Yes,
you have to tie those.
I can't not think about that. I then am going to say, man, like I said, all these could be, you could swap out any of these.
The way I say it, I'm always like, it's how I feel today. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Because I'll feel different. I'll feel different tomorrow.
Right. 100%. When I was growing up, Superman, the movie with Christopher Reeve, and still to this day, I think Christopher Reeve is my Superman. Like that's just, when I think about Superman, he was who I thought of. And I was flying around my house with a cape on, and it was that Superman movie, which is funny because like now when I think about it, it's like it takes like an hour to get to the Superman scenes, and it's like, this movie is like, it's kind of rough to get to the parts that I love. But in my mind, it's like you cannot replace his portrayal of Clark Kent and the transformation.
Shoulders.
Yes,
yeah, exactly. Totally know what you mean.
Like, how can you like that was like the Robert Downey Jr. like the like
little Alex Ross a little bit.
Yeah, like I can't. It's hard for me to see, even though, like I said, just loved David Cornsweet in Superman last year. It's hard for me to not see Christopher Reeve when I think about Superman. So that movie was iconic to me. And growing up, there wasn't a whole lot. Like I grew up before the MCU. And so like my son is never going to know. I was thinking about that the other day. Like my son's never going to know a world that doesn't have all of these, not only the MCU, but like, DC, X-Men, like the Blade, all of these Marvel, like comic book movies that I was like, I was salivating whenever there was a superhero movie. Fantastic Four. Oh, this is great. Jessica Alba. So Superman the movie.
So funny,
that was my favorite Superman movie for a long time. And it's still up there with the new James Gunn movie. of
Yeah.
which is my favorite Superman movie. I have to talk about Spider-Man and Spider-Man 2.
Yes.
Like I said, this is also another one that's like, it's hard for me to
Kinda merged up.
separate them
Yeah,
because I
yeah, I hear
love
you.
both of them. And this was one that I went to multiple times, the very first Sam Raimi Spider-Man.
Mhm.
And it was another one that was like, this is before the MCU. This is like, I'm seeing the comic books on the big screen. Like, this
Yeah.
is not normal for me.
Exactly, yeah.
So
I still
when
remember
that
that too. That's funny you say that.
oh
Yeah.
man, the Tobey Maguire, that was one. And what was funny was I kind of like went into a bunker before the movie came out, and I said no trailers. I'm not gonna watch a single second
Let's go,
of
yeah.
Spider-Man swinging. I want that experience for the first time in the theater, and I successfully did it. I don't know how I did it because I remember seeing it everywhere, but when I saw the swinging for the first time in the theater, I was like, "This is
Oh, man.
amazing!"
Yeah.
And then Spider-Man 2, like just leveling it up, and Doc Ock, like as a movie, Spider-Man
Yeah.
2, I think is like the perfect comic book movie.
It
Speaking
is,
of the
it is.
perfect comic book movie, number 2, Batman Begins and The Dark Knight. Like, I love elements of both of those movies. And again, taking Batman and giving him a new, like, not a new audience, but like,
But a new ambiance a little bit,
yeah,
something like that
people
maybe, yeah.
looked at him differently
Different,
after,
yeah.
like, it almost felt like the Batman and Batman Returns at
Mhm.
that point had where people were like, "Oh, that's kinda campy,"
Yeah, it's just
because we had
Batman.
had the George Clooney, we had
Yes.
had the goofy, silly
Yeah.
Batmans. Batman Begins brought it back to, "Whoa, this could be realistic. This could be,
Yes.
like, in real life." And then The Dark Knight, like, that was I saw that in IMAX for the first time, and the aspect ratio changes where you like we have the Arizona Mills
Yes.
IMAX,
Yep,
which is like
70
one of the
millimeter.
biggest ones in the
Yeah.
country, and that is one of my all-time favorite experiences, seeing The Dark Knight in IMAX for the first time. The way that the Joker is so good as the foil for Batman, and that the whole movie can be summed up for me in that interrogation scene when the Joker is
Yeah.
in he's in the interrogation, and he's like, "There's nothing you can do to me. You can't hurt me. Like, you can't take anything away from me." And Batman is like so frustrated. And
Yeah,
I
yeah,
was like,
yeah.
"This is amazing. This is genius," because he's right. Like, the Joker is winning
And
this,
then he does the
like,
worst thing to him right at the end of that by giving him that choice and lying to him about Rachel and Harvey. Like, yeah,
oh,
but that's
yes.
great.
Yes. Yeah. Like that. And that, like, I was already a Nolan fan, but when The Dark Knight came out, it was like, this is like my favorite director of all
Yeah.
time at this point. My number one, I
I'm actually really excited to hear this before you even say this. I just the way this is going, I'm not lying. I'm actually sitting on the edge of my seat. I'm very excited to hear this.
well, I have had a subtle clue to my number one movie, my number one superhero movie of all time, Into the Spider-Verse and Across the
Cross,
Spider-Verse.
yeah.
Both of those films, and man, I can't wait for Beyond the Spider-Verse.
Oh, yeah.
Like, if they can stick that landing,
It could
that
be
is
the best
gonna
all
be
time.
yes,
Yeah.
like, as a trilogy, because that was the thing with Dark Knight. It was like, okay, Batman Begins, Dark Knight Rises.
Dipped
They
a little bit. Yeah,
didn't
yeah, yeah.
quite stick the landing. So if they could do this with Beyond the Spider-Verse, and they've taken enough time in between these two, it's like, man, come on, give us something great
Yeah.
with Beyond the Spider-Verse. This would be groundbreaking, amazing. This took Miles Morales, which I had already known him from the comics, but they did the Into the Spider-Verse and then the Sony PlayStation Spider-Man. I think
Yeah.
those two took Miles Morales and made him a household name,
Oh, yeah.
whereas
100%.
before he was just known to comic book fans.
Yeah.
And maybe you might have heard about Donald Glover trying to campaign and I want to be Spider-Man. Like, you might have heard a little bit of stuff in the background,
Yeah.
but as a mainstream, the Spider-Verse movies are what put Miles Morales on the map. That's when you get the Halloween costumes, and that's when you get the t-shirts and things. The animation on those movies is like the highest work of art that I can think of. The way that it doesn't look like any other animated movie.
It's insane.
And how many animated movies have come after that have had that look of, they called animating it on the twos instead of the fourth beat, and they're removing frames from the animation so that they move a little bit different, but
Yeah.
it works and it feels like a comic book. So many movies. You think about K-pop Demon Hunters that just came out, the Puss in Boots
Dude.
movies.
Yeah. TMNT, Teenage Mutant Ninja
Yes.
Turtles, like, yeah, all that.
There's so many animated movies now where it's almost like it's starting to get to be the norm instead of like it was a novelty when Into the Spider-Verse did it. But that storytelling is transcendent. It's like what Pixar used to be. It was like this is a movie that hits all four quadrants, like
Yeah.
everyone can enjoy this story from the young to the old. There's also a little bit of personal thing for me is so I am African American. My wife is Latina. So my son is Miles Morales. To me, like when I see my son, I'm seeing Miles Morales of
That's awesome, dude. I
blending
love that. Yeah.
those generations. And I love Miles as a character. I love the vocal performance, the story, like everything about Miles Morales. And I love seeing my son represented on the screen. And I
Yeah.
could say to him, look, this is, you can have, like, it's not the same, like, you can see yourself instead of,
Yeah.
he's not like me. Like Peter
Yep.
Parker's not like me
Yeah.
to the same extent. So love Miles Morales, love the story, love the score, love the animation, everything about those two movies. Like for me, 10 out of 10. Like those are they belong in a museum. Put
They
them
do. That's
in the
very true.
highest platform.
I love it. Yeah, I love it. Just to chime in there, dude, you're totally right when it becomes I almost think of I originally with Spider-Verse, I knew Miles Morales through being a niche character. Like it was almost like the question I asked you in the Flashpoint Paradox at the beginning of the segment. Like I was like, what's a niche character? Well, I was like, I remember when Miles Morales was a niche kind of concept. That like,
Yes.
wait, there's another Spider-Man. It was and then it kind of came a little more popular and I saw it. I remember when I saw Miles Morales in Ultimates, the Ultimate Spider-Man, like I think it was a Disney XD
Yes.
show or
Mhm.
something,
Yes.
and it was Drake Bell who played Peter Parker, and Donald Glover had voiced him when they did kind of a mini series on kind of a Spider-Verse. We go to a different
Yes.
universe. We meet a Miguel O'Hara like Spider-Man 2099, and I remember seeing that. I was like, wait a second, like that's really cool. And I kind of see a comparison where they're like, it was almost like the main Spider-Man obviously was Peter Parker, but you know, it's almost like the main Batman was Bruce Wayne, but you have a Batman Beyond and Terry McGinnis that like people started to know, and it was like a second tier, not really niche anymore, but second tier. But now, like Miles Morales after the Spider-Verse, like it is equally Spider-Man.
Yes.
Like I could easily see. I mean, it's not like a legacy character even more. It's almost like its own persona of just being Spider-Man. That's what I've seen, and yeah, that's just really cool that you say that because the cinematic achievement is just incredible. Not to mention the score. Like that's another quote I say with my friends all the time. Like I have some of the buddies I play Xbox with. We're always like, "Nah, I'm gonna do my own thing." Like it's just like super funny. Yeah, we're always saying that. So I love it, dude. So list me all of them again from last. Like even if you have ties, I want to know like in order.
Yes. Captain America, Winter Soldier, Avengers, Infinity War, Endgame. I'll put that as a Avengers slot. X-Men, Days of Future Past, Black Panther, Iron Man, the Tim Burton Batmans. So Batman and Batman Returns, Superman the movie, the Sam Raimi Spider-Mans, Spider-Man 1 and 2. We'll talk about 3.
Yeah, I got you.
The Nolan Batman, so Dark Knight and Batman Begins. We won't talk about Dark Knight Rises.
Yeah, I got
and
you.
then the Spider-Verse is Into and Across, and hopefully I can add Beyond to that list.
I love it. That's an incredible list. I was genuinely because I mean, again, like we're buddies now and like getting to know, but like I didn't know, like we hadn't had that talk yet. So I was really excited for this segment because one, I love a good ranking, but two, it's like I'm like genuinely, and yeah, it just is fun to know. So for mine, I'm gonna go with a couple honorable mentions, and this is kind of me saying like my ties in a way. Again, this is so fluid; it's not even funny. I could wake up in 8 hours from now and feel completely different. But I think this is where I feel, and I have reasons. I try to definitely blend critical success with kind of like just groundbreakingness, but also what you were doing, kind of just like personal reasons. So the honorable mentions that I want to throw on here first, I think the Superman of this last year, super personal for me. This is how I started Nate's Nerd News, was basically James Gunn's announcement of the DCU when he did it online. It was like, I think it was that old DC, what was it? What was the one where the Rock
Fandom?
was like Fandom, that's what it was. Or it was the year where they stopped it, but like James Gunn came out and said that. and
Right.
something like that.
That was
And so
amazing.
it was just really
Yes.
personal because this is the first movie that he really said announced that was like, this is it. I mean, obviously you can count Creature Commandos or Peacemaker, but like truly it was Superman that like kicks off this DCU. And so for me, I was like, this is literally what started Nate Zero News. If I go back all the way to my first TikTok, I think it was like, let's talk about some superhero stuff. And it was about this. And so
Yes.
that's really personal for me. But I think another one is Guardians 1. And honestly,
Oh,
I'll throw in
man.
Guardians 3 with that. That's something for me that was just seeing it, not only seeing Chris Pratt, who became one of my favorite
Man.
actors, but a
Dang.
team up movie that was funny, but it was just, it entered another atmosphere for the MCU, was just this cosmic side, but just being
Yes.
so like actually funny. There's funny movies, but moments where I'm actually like laughing out loud very hard. Like for instance, when, you know, like Drax just everything Drax does, but honestly, like in the end when he's dancing to distract Ronan, and he's like, dance battle, bro, and he keeps like Gamora, and he's like, take it back. Like there's just so many funny moments of that. Like I honestly, like I feel like that's like the goofiness that I try to have sometimes is Star-Lord, and it's just, dude, it's so funny, but also the soundtrack, truthfully.
Yes. And I need to interject. That was one that, man, that would be definitely an honorable mention for me because I took my wife to see that. I knew who the Guardians of the Galaxy were, and those were niche characters. Here's another one that movie put them on the map, and every interpretation you see now is because of James Gunn. Like Groot was like, if you watch there's some actually really good animated shows that came out right before Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah.
Rocket has a British accent. Groot is different. He's not the same as what we see in the James Gunn movies. And Drax is also different. He's not the same. Everything after that, it's only what you're
exactly.
You're only seeing it like that. And the humor was amazing. And that's again, the humor and the heart is what James Gunn excels at, and soundtrack, like picking what songs are going to be on it. And you fall in love with every single character. Like, I don't think there's a weak character in that bunch. And my wife, again, we have the Star Trek connection. I'm sorry, Star Trek. We have the Star Wars connection.
Yeah.
And we saw that movie 6 times in the theater. And I turned to her and I said, this is what the next Star Wars movie should be like. It should be like this. Like the way
that's
that
awesome.
They turned these characters into characters that you care about and you love. And it's weird thinking about that now, but this was before the sequel trilogy. And so if you think about where Star Wars was at that point, before we knew about Rey, before we knew about all of the, the First Order and all these other things. What they did with the aliens in that movie, what they did with the special effects, the humor and the heart and the action, all of those things are amazing in Guardians of the Galaxy. And so, man, I kind of wish the sequel trilogy had more of what is in Guardians of the Galaxy. And 3 was amazing as a capper of that story.
It was so much
James
heart,
Gunn.
so emotional. That was what I remember. That was one of my wife's favorite. I think that her favorite MCU movie was Black Panther for the longest time.
Ooh,
and it became Guardians 3. Like right when we walk out, like, absolutely, that is my number one.
Yes.
Yeah, I love it, dude. It's so true. I think the last honorable mention that's on here I'm surprised it didn't make my list, but it could any day of the week, is X-Men Days of Future Past. I just the scale of the movie was insane. I never really was a huge X-Men fan. I was what you'd say a casual fan was. Absolutely. I loved it. Loved the movies. Didn't really deep dive in the comics. I was a big fan of Wolverine, but really became just, the what they were able to do, kind of like really kind of did the, other than like Back to the Future, it's really hard to do back in time stuff, but exactly.
Back to the Future is my all-time favorite movie, period.
I love that. Okay, that's great. I love that. But yeah, it's definitely up there for me. I love even all 3 of them. I even think 3 didn't stick the landing as much, but I still love it. But yeah, I mean, that for me was just like, that did going back into the past, like time travel, so well.
Yes.
And yeah, I really loved it. I loved it. Jumping into my top 10, my number 10 spot is something that's super personal to me. It's Batman Forever.
Ooh.
Which is the Val Kilmer Batman.
This
one for me, and this one for me is, dude, I don't know what it is. My dad always told me, he did the same thing with James Bond. I kind of like watched where my dad loved his niches. And my dad, for the longest time, like, he always was like, dude, when it was come to Batman and movies, I think it was probably around the time where Batman Begins came out. Like, I was, I was a kid, but like, I was really into Batman. That is my number one favorite superhero of all time, by the way, Batman. But I remember hearing my dad say, hey, dude, you got to watch the Val Kilmer. He's like, there's a way. He's like, when it comes to Batman, he's like, I don't know what it is about Val Kilmer, but it's really good. But he's like, but truthfully, it's Jim Carrey being the Riddler. And I know there's a lot of campy moments in it. I know it's critically not the best movie, but for me, it was like Dumb and Dumber is one of my all-time favorite movies. It's like my family movie. And so to see Jim Carrey then become like the Riddler, like everything about it, I actually think a hot take is Val Kilmer is one of, if not the best Bruce Waynes that we've ever gotten.
That has
he
been
does it very well.
That was when I was growing up. I felt like as a kid, I thought Michael Keaton was the best Batman. Val Kilmer was the best Bruce Wayne.
Love that.
Out of those original 4 Batmans.
Yeah, that's so funny. And I mean, it's so true. The moment where and I've seen videos about this, but I loved that it was pointed out to me like not that long ago, but something that just I knew was there. I was like, oh wait, that makes so much sense. They talked about the reason he's the best Bruce Wayne. One of the moments is where he finds, I can't remember specifically, but he finds out something like goes wrong, or at Wayne Enterprises, someone gets hurt, and he immediately offers, well, we're going to fund everything. Like you see like kind of like the personal heart. And I love that. I think they just nail it. I think he's got the suaveness, but also the Robin in it for me. Like that was really cool to see Chris O'Donnell become like Dick Grayson, and obviously it's a little different, he's a little older, but that was just cool to see a Robin.
He has the scene where he's doing laundry kung fu, like he's like
it's so, dude. Oh, it kills me, man. Yeah, there's so many campy moments, but for me, I just don't know why it was so personal. I mean, I remember going to see that at my mom's work. My mom used to work at like a retirement home. And they had like a movie theater growing up, like a little or a movie room, not a movie theater, but like a movie room. Like all these old people, like they're what I mean, they're not gonna go see unless they would go see some real classics. So I'd go in there and throw the VHS in of Batman Forever, that and Commando with Arnold Schwarzenegger. Dude, I'd always watch it.
Yes,
really random and niche. Okay, anyways, I'll cruise through this. Number 9 for me is Iron Man. This was recent. I've always had that up there, but the first Iron Man again is just so incredible. Again, there's so many iconic moments. And it worked out pretty well so far. Like stuff like that is just so good. Like there's so many good. Yeah, Tony Stark built this in the cave. Like all of it, man.
I forgot to tell you.
Yeah, go ahead.
I'm sorry. I forgot to tell you when I was talking about Iron Man. I saw that with my dad in the theater, and I turned to my dad after it was over. I was like, "Hey, Dad, what'd you think about the movie?" I'm thinking he's gonna be now. My dad's stock answer for what did you think of the movie is it was all right. He says that for 99% of the movies
That's
he
so
watches.
funny.
So I'm thinking, oh, okay, it was all right. My dad shocked me. He goes, that was the best movie I've ever seen in my life. I was like, what?
What?
Like,
yeah, you're literally
could not believe. So that, to me, floored me. Also, the first after credit sequence with Sam Jackson talk about the Avengers Initiative. So another like first set up so many things that came after it. So Iron Man was such a trailblazer for so much.
Yeah, it is. It was a trailblazer. And that's why I think I just have to give credit where it's due. It's just like, dude, we would not have it. But also, not lying, it might be still the best Iron Man's ever looked in a suit. Like, I think the Mark III, when he's walking away after blowing up the tank.
Yes, which is my dad's favorite scene in the movie.
Exactly. And for me, it's like, sometimes like, I know we can get into a lot of people get into the argument of like, CGI is a little more like fluid when it comes to working and a lot of like different technologies. But for some reason I watched that, I'm like, this movie looks like that is the newest Iron Man movie. Still, like just the realness of the CGI and the blending of I don't know, it just really, really, really was cool. I almost have that same argument with the TASM movies, like very realistic. And that was what was cool to me.
Yes.
Number 8 this is a tie for me. I'll have a tie. I'm going to throw this in there. It's Infinity War and Endgame. Dude, best crowd reaction. Well, one of the best crowd reaction. I have one on here that beats it for me, but again, like just one of the best ever. Like, the on your left, one of the best parts I think in Endgame. Well, my favorite part in Infinity War that really sells it for me is when Steve Rogers appears from the train.
Yes,
and like when, dude,
that was a huge pop in the theater for me. Yes.
Literally, I'm just levitating like, and he's got his beard. It's just almost like
he looks
Steve now. He's back, but he doesn't give any Fs. And then when he sees,
wife,
go ahead.
I was gonna say when she saw him with the beard, she goes, "Hello." I was like,
Yeah. That's so funny. Oh, that's hilarious. Yeah, no, when he sees Colonel Ross in the hologram
mm,
form, and he's like, and if you get in my way, I'll fight you too. I'm just like, we're so back, dude. This is so different. And anyways, and then Endgame, one of the moments I really loved, despite all the fun stuff, was uh there's a moment where they're trying to talk about when to go back in time because they're solving the quantum equation, or they've already solved it, but they're trying to find and game plan. And there's a moment where they're like in a desk where it's like Robert Downey Jr., Scarlett Johansson, and then it's Hulk on the like floor, and they're just like laying there. For me, that was one of my favorite moments when they're like, guys, if we go back at the same time, like, isn't it all in New York or whatever? But it's just for me being such a fanboy and it was almost fan service to just spend time. That's where I'm like, I don't care if it's 4 hours long of a movie. I just want to spend time, and this is the time that I want to spend. I want to just hang out. And that was something really random. And a lot of people argue and they say, this is what can be cut out of the movie. This is why the movie's so long. Like, why is it 3 hours? You know, like a casual fan would say that. But I'm just saying, like, that's the stuff for me where I'm like, I would like to just sit and spend time. I wish I was in that room because it's just funny. Like Tony Stark's laying there and he's got like a pillow in between his legs, probably to try to like help his back. And I'm just sitting there like, that's hilarious. Like, you know what I mean? There's just so much attention to detail in that set. Anyways, to cruise through that. Number 7 for me is Spider-Man 2. The Sam Raimi Spider-Man 2. Again, critically took it to the next level. Oh man, I remember I'm actually getting like super into collecting like Marvel, specifically Marvel Lego minifigures. And I've like started this huge thing right here. It's just so funny. It's just sitting next to me, so I'll show you. But like I've like collected all these minifigures. And it's just so funny. It's random. I don't need another reason to spend money. This is terrible. But dude, the Sam Raimi Spider-Man Doc Ock fight scene I had as a kid, it was one of my favorite like toy sets, was the train sequence. And now that literal set, if I kept it, oh my gosh, I don't have it anymore. But dude, if I kept that thing's worth hundreds of bucks now. And to see like Doc Ock and he's holding, and like for me, it was just groundbreaking. Everything about it, the between Otto and Peter, their relationship, like trying to do better, like things like that were just great. You know,
there's
so
a tiny moment from that movie that most people don't quote or remember, but
yeah,
for whatever reason, this is kind of like you with your buddies. Like anytime there is a situation that comes up with me and my wife, and she goes, "I don't know," I repeat what Octavius says at one point to Peter. He goes, "You don't know? Well, who would know?" That's what I say every time she rolls her eyes at me every single time. I cannot not say that when somebody says, "I don't know." Who would know?
Oh, that is so funny. Yeah, that's so funny. I love it. Yeah, it's just so good. Honestly, at number 6, I have here. I need to plug my computer in because it is literally about to die. I would not want that. That would be terrible. At number 6, man, I have Spider-Man 1, Sam Raimi. For me, I know that number 2 is technically a better movie, but Spider-Man 1 is so iconic. So iconic. And for me, it's just to see Willem Dafoe's Green Goblin, like for me, is a top 3, not only Mount Rushmore, but top 3 villain of all time across any medium. It's like Darth Vader, Heath Ledger, Willem Dafoe's Green Goblin is where I'm at. Just everything about it is just insane. I mean, that was another one I watched my dad. Like he used to have this catchphrase. Like I don't even know why he would say this, but he'd always go like when he'd try to mess with this kid, he'd be like Green Metalici or like something like that. I don't know if it was like back in the day. I don't even know what it means. But he would start attributing that to like the Green Goblin, and it's just funny like little memories like that. Or he'd like come in Scary Man room and say that like. You know, does a Spider-Man want to come out and play, like stuff like that? Like, it's just super funny. So many good memories of that, and yeah, just the video games that followed that. I just were so fun.
Man, yes, dang.
Number 5, and I gotta cook through this because I'm having so much fun. This is so much fun. Number 5 is to keep with Spider-Man is Spider-Man No Way Home. I was about to say Brand New Day. I hope it's one of my favorite, but it's No Way Home. Again, that is my favorite crowd service moment. Was when Andrew jumps through the portal. Just insane. I mean, so many crowd service moments. Not only Toby, but not only like when they drop his 3, but like, dude, Charlie Cox's Daredevil. Like, like, bro, like when he just drops his cane and you see his walking stick. Or
I'm a really good
Dude, yeah,
lawyer.
I love that movie. But this is what's crazy. If you take all of the Spider-Man and all of the cameos out, like truthfully, if you literally just leave in the Green Goblin as a character and just Peter, it's still an incredible movie. And that's where
Yes,
I
that
love getting in arguments with people because they are always talking about how, oh, dude, it's just fan service. Like it's just member berries. But I'm like, absolutely not, dude. The
mhm.
one specifically, not only Aunt May's death, but truthfully, when they're fighting, him and Willem Dafoe are fighting in the hallway, and he's like on top and trying to hit him with his elbows. And he's just like smiling more and more. And I'm just like, this is insane. This is literally insane. I just love it.
That scene is one of my all-time favorites because it told my wife, who does not read comic books,
Yeah.
this is the Green Goblin. Like I
Yes.
was like, I wanted her because she only had like that first Spider-Man movie
A mask.
as
Yeah.
her,
Exactly.
yeah. And I was like, this is the Green Goblin, the craziness. And
Yes.
I've many times told her, I was like, he's like the Marvel Joker, like
He is. Yes. Very much
the
so.
insanity of the Green Goblin. And so when she got to see that on full display, because the Joker is her favorite
Yeah.
comic book character, so I was like, this is the Green
That's
Goblin.
cool.
So
Yeah.
I
They
really
just
love
nailed
that.
they nailed the, that's a 1-to-1 is what it is. Yeah.
Yes.
That's awesome. I love that. Number 4 is Logan.
I
Love
had
this movie.
that would be an yes, honorable mention for me.
Yeah,
Yes, yes,
this one for
yes.
me, and honestly, I did actually before Deadpool and Wolverine, I had done a rewatch with all the Fox X-Men movies with Lauren, my wife, and it's funny. I love to do rankings in my head. I'm like super OCDs like that. So like I had like obviously my 5 favorite superheroes. I got like at the top is Batman, then Spider-Man, then it was Nightwing, and then right then it was Superman, and then Captain America were all my favorite 5 superheroes. But bro, I don't know what it was when I watched back all this, especially with Logan. I went through like an obsession with Wolverine, and now he's jumped
Mm.
into like my 4th favorite. Like, so Logan, I just think not only is it an incredible, like James Mangold, what he did is so incredible. I actually think I've heard some people say this, but people don't talk about it enough. I think that Patrick Stewart should have won an Oscar or at least been
Mm.
nominated for a Best Supporting Actor in his role as Charles Xavier in
Yeah.
that movie.
Yes.
It is just incredible on all fronts. Like Daphne Keene, she barely even talks in the movie, and then you're just like, this is insane. Yeah, the villain, but just really truly like the visceral R-ratedness. I'm just like, no, there are no bars hold back, right? Like it just was so good on all fronts. Hugh Jackman, like to see just the stress of him being old and aged and angry. Just, I remember the towards the end where he can't start the car, he just freaks out. And it was just like, dude, this guy has been through so much. And
Yes.
it really is just that old, grumpy old man. I love the movie. I think it's incredible.
Yes.
Number 3, this is my favorite Marvel movie of all time. It is Captain America, The Winter Soldier. I
Nice. Yes.
love this movie, dude.
Yes.
This is truthfully for me, it was the moment where Marvel changed. It was like, oh, this is something different.
Yeah.
Like this is
Yeah.
insane. The fact that it's a grounded espionage kind of spy thriller. I love it.
Yeah.
There's so many iconic moments in it when he turns around and catches the shield. Like it's just so many good moments, dude. The freeway fight, my word, so good. Absolutely, it's my number 1. I remember seeing this with my friends, just getting out of the theater, like, what did we just watch, dude? It was insane. Number
That was
2,
amazing.
it was so good. Number 2 is The Dark Knight, specifically The Dark Knight. And it is what it is. It's very self-explanatory. Like Heath Ledger's performance is incredible. Obviously, it's just great, dude. Like the bank scene in the beginning, like seeing him hold the mask, like when it zooms in, like see even just the window breaks with the zip line going through, like it truly is. The score of it is just it's Hans Zimmer, I believe, right?
Yes.
And
Correct.
it's just like you just hear just kind of this unsettling, like all the way to the end. I remember seeing it with my cousin in theater, and when he's got his different vision, like I think it's like a night vision or some type of holographic vision towards the end, and you see Joker like pop out. Like I remember watching my cousin
Yes.
throw popcorn when she took me to see it, and yeah, just so many fun memories of that movie. I love it. It is one of the best, if not the best, for a reason. People, you can't knock it. Number 1 is how I feel in the last couple months. I have loved this movie. I have just a love for this. Yeah, just this movie in general. It's The Batman. And
Yes.
I
Yes.
know
That should be an
that,
honorable
yeah,
mention. Yes.
exactly. There we go. I just think this movie, I saw it probably 6, 7, 8 times in theater by myself, dude. Like I
Yes. Yes.
love this movie on all fronts. Again, it became like quickly an obsession to just like like I remember there was like TikTok trends of like people hitting the gym, like going Batman mode, like literally just like throwing on the hoodie and just like going late at night and just getting the work in. And like literally like I started to do that. I'm like, dude, I got to do this. Like not only is it just the gothic, just to take what we thought was grounded in the Nolan trilogy to another level. I'm so excited to see what Matt Reeves does, which we'll quickly talk about too after this. But yeah, just dude, I just am. It is so good for a reason, man. I love it. I don't think it gets enough love, to be honest, because I think some people are like, no, people just quickly compare it to The Dark Knight, and it's hard not to. But they're just different, and it's okay to be different. And again, I really hope they stick the second one, because that could be. It could, if they stick the second one, man. Is there an argument that it could be better than Dark Knight? I don't know.
Yes. And going into it, people have so many doubts about Robert Pattinson. They cast the vampire from Twilight.
Boy.
How is
Exactly.
he going to be Batman? And Andy Serkis's Alfred, I think, is underrated. Like, I wish he had more screen time because I really liked his Alfred.
Yeah, I love that.
Great movie.
I actually was one of the people I remember posting on my Instagram story when they announced Robert Pattinson's Batman. I literally said, I remember it. I said, don't know how I feel about this one. It was just kind of my way of saying, like, really, dude? Like, really? Yeah. Okay. And then I'm like, dude, yeah. The acting with the eyes is just insane. It's insane. So yeah, that's mine.
Movie.
Yeah, I mean, that's it. 10. Yeah, I got Batman Forever going to Iron Man to Avengers Infinity War and Endgame. They're tied. And then Spider-Man 2, and then Spider-Man 1, and then No Way Home, and then Logan, Captain America the Winter Soldier, The Dark Knight, and The Batman. That was fun.
Amazing. All of those could be on my list. Like you, I'm like, depending on the day, the mood, it's all of those are great movies. Amazing.
That's totally how it is. Well, let's do this. Let's move to the next segment here. We're going to do, I purposely didn't show you this because I want your reactions live. We're going to do a comic character battle. Basically, we're doing a bracket of, I believe it's 32. I have a picture of this, and I'll be writing it down as we go. But we'll kind of just go back and forth with it. I'll like read them to you, and you'll tell me, and we'll kind of like, if we argue it, like give me a good point why you think this. If we disagree, it'll be fun. But we're going to do the parameters. It's very basic superheroes between Marvel and DC, but it's who would win as their comic book self, the most mainline comic book self, I think is the best way to do it. And this is where I've got some knowledge, but I really am like excited to hear your takes on it because this comic cooks.
Yeah.
Come on. Yeah. Let's go, dude. Okay, so let's start off with this. The first matchup we got is it is going to be Superman versus Aquaman. Ooh. I think it's got to be Superman. But Aquaman is so incredibly powered in the comics. Am I wrong?
Yes, that is correct. And in the current Aquaman book, which is coming out right now, really good. He has leveled up to the point where he's like a water god now. Like, the strength that he has and the ability, like there was a recent DC just had an event. It was called DCKO. Every issue was this, like it was a
bracket. Yeah, I totally remember this. Yeah.
And Aquaman fought Hawkman, and a lot of people were like, Hawkman's gonna he's gonna wipe the floor with Aquaman. And the things that he was doing in that, it was like he was blood bending. If you're Avatar: The Last Airbendering these things, like he was, because the blood is water and liquid, and it was like he was able to like any water molecules in the air he can take out, and it's like insane now. But I think Superman still, to me, has to take it because it's hard unless you have kryptonite or unless you have like magic. It's really hard to beat Superman. I don't think Aquaman would take it. I think Superman's going to be the victor.
Okay, I love it. I'm kind of the same way. I always remember knowing Aquaman in the comics. It's almost like a lot of people would have the argument of he can do what Superman can, but he also has like the world of water, which is his main form.
Right.
You know, but Superman is, I think he takes the cake.
Right. And it's like, that could be like, are they fighting in the water? Are they fighting in the air? Like, maybe
it's all
one has the
it's
advantage.
like contextual because it's like, what do you do?
Yeah.
Okay, next
I think Superman takes it.
Okay, I'll put Superman, let's say. So Superman wins the first matchup. Let's do this. Iron Man versus Thor. I think for the same reasons, I think it's tough. It's like the Batman with prep time. Like argument is like, you have the genius, but Thor's a god. But I don't know. Where do you go?
Man, yeah, it's tough because eventually Iron Man could probably figure out a way to outthink Thor, but especially like their initial meeting.
Yeah.
That first Avengers movie, when they have that meeting, does Mother know you wear her drapes or whatever?
Yeah,
That
it's so
scene,
funny. Yeah, yeah.
it's hard. Like Thor number one is stronger and he's got lightning.
Yeah.
So the electricity plus the strength and Mjolnir, like
Yeah.
I think Thor, he's just too strong. And Iron Man would have to do something like he comes with the Hulkbuster armor. Like he would have
Exactly.
to prepare. If
Yeah.
they're just meeting just straight up, I think
I think that Thor's got to take it, right? Okay, here we go. Black Panther versus Doctor Strange.
Ooh.
I haven't really. I revert to you if we're taking comic
Ooh.
characters. Is it different a lot? I know obviously usually the comic version is obviously way more depth, but
Yes.
I haven't really read a lot of comics involving Black Panther other than like mainline Avengers issues, and same thing with Doctor Strange for the same reasons. So I'm kind of
Ooh, I have
reverting
a
to you. What do you think?
yes. Off Mike, I have a very good Doctor Strange recommendation for you. But
Oh, please, yeah,
I think, oh man, yeah, Doctor Strange is top level as
yeah,
far as magic wielders. He's up there, like I'm thinking like Zatanna in DC. He has so many spells that he
yeah.
could call upon, and we see that a little bit in the movies. But I think Black Panther wins because this is something that they didn't play up in the movies as
Mm,
much. And also something that I should have mentioned in my Spider-Man talk was, man, I wish the movies showed his intelligence more, because that's another thing for me is I love characters that one of their superpowers is their intelligence and they could
yes,
beat you with their intelligence. So like you mentioned Iron Man, Black Panther is one of the smartest human beings on the planet and they don't like the movies never play that up. So on top of him being one of the best fighters in the world, he's also one of the smartest in the world. And he's got with Wakanda, he has
yeah.
some
You
of the
have
best technology
technology
in the
ever.
world.
That's totally true.
So all of those things, like Black Panther's really kind of OP.
Yeah.
I don't think a lot of people know how powerful he is in the comics. So I'm gonna go T'Challa on
I
this
would
one.
think
I
so with
think
the
he's got
mix
a lot.
because yeah, you have S tier magic level, but you get nerfed when it comes to like a quadrant of technology, smarts. Not only is he basically a super soldier, you know what I mean? And it's like
Yes,
the
right.
better version of a super soldier.
Yes.
Yeah, I love that answer. I love that
Yeah.
answer. Mainline, isn't he? He's in the Illuminati too in the Secret Wars
Yes,
comic
yes,
line.
uh-huh,
And so
that's
that's
right,
where I was
and
like,
he's
I just was thinking and tying those together with Doctor Strange. I'm like, Multiverse Madness, like, why wouldn't you have like another version of Black Panther in that? You know what I mean?
oh, man, that would've been amazing. He's one of
That'd
the
have been
characters that
sick.
has worn the Infinity Gauntlet before with the like,
Yeah.
alongside Thanos, he's worn the Infinity Gauntlet, so
Crazy. Sweet. So we got to kind of cook through this because we're at like an hour 13. This is this is awesome.
man,
I'm having so much fun.
Nate,
Okay,
have me
sweet.
back, I want to talk more with you.
Oh, bro, you have no idea. If you say yes, I'll do it. I'll do next week if you want. Okay, sweet. So literally, what? Okay, so next we got Wonder Woman, Captain Marvel. This is a good matchup.
Oh, man, yes, that is a good one. Man, Captain you know what's funny is, like, they are actually even on a lot of levels because they both have the speed, they
Yep.
both have the strength, they both have kinda like a magic connection, and then
Hmm.
Wonder Woman has the lasso. I mean
Yeah, that's kind of crazy because you have the lasso, you have weapons. You
right,
know what I mean?
yeah, dang. I'm gonna go Wonder Woman because
Kind of feeling
of
the same.
she has the Amazon warrior
Yeah,
background.
yeah,
She's also one of the best fighters in the
yeah,
DC universe. Not necessarily martial arts,
yeah,
but just a warrior mentality.
yeah,
She's up there. She might be the top warrior
yeah,
amongst like if you think about who has the toughness out of any character,
yeah.
I think Wonder Woman. So I think I'm gonna give Wonder Woman the edge on that one.
Love it. Okay, sweet. Okay, sweet. Batman versus Star Lord. I'll die on this hill. Obviously, you have the cosmic side, but I would die, and I think you have like ego of the planet. Like you know what I mean? But dude, I am under the argument of Batman with prep time can beat anybody.
I'm also in that camp. I know there's a lot of people online that are like that can defeat anything. Like it's not
Yeah,
a fair fight because
of prep time.
it's
Yeah, yeah,
plot
yeah.
armor. Yeah, you can
Exactly.
say that against anything, so it's not a fun argument. But I am in that.
I mean,
I'm
that's
in
his
that camp.
superpower. Like, you know what I
Right.
mean? Like, it is.
Yeah,
It's how smart he is.
because
This tactical strategist. You know?
right. That's the only way he can be on the Justice League as a
Yeah, exactly.
human, as a normal human. You can't like how can you bet against Batman?
Yeah.
Like and he's one of my favorite he's Spider-Man is my favorite character of all time, but Batman is up there, and with the proper time, I don't think you are beating Batman, and
I don't think
especially
so either.
Star-Lord. Like, he's not as smart as Batman, he's not
Yeah.
as good a fighter as Batman.
Yeah.
So, yeah, gotta give it to
Okay,
Batman.
sweet. Wolverine versus the Hulk.
Ooh,
We've seen this one.
yes. Oh, man. Dang. See, the hard part about this one is they both have a healing factor, and
Mhm.
so it's like and there's I don't did you ever see that Hulk versus animated movie?
Oh,
It
yeah.
was yes, the
Yeah.
Deadpool's in it, and
Yeah.
there's that movie basically ends with them just cut to like they're running at each other. It's like, all right, you don't get to see who wins. It's I almost feel like that battle can go on forever because they can just heal. They can just keep
Yeah.
on going at each other.
Would you say that Hulk in the comics, in my opinion, obviously is like done right? Because clearly, like that's how he's inceptualized. But Hulk is the comics is insane.
Yes. I think Hulk wins because there's a current there's a current series right now. They've
Love this.
taken it to like you can't even fathom the levels they've taken Hulk to now. So there's a current comic coming out right now called Hulk Smash Everything.
Yeah.
Every issue is Hulk doing some insane thing that so the very first issue he goes back in time to the meteor that hits the earth that wipes out the dinosaurs and he survives that. There's another issue where he
I
gets
gotta read
sucked
this.
into a black hole and he defeats the black hole. So
Yeah.
it's like, how do you like
Yeah. What, bro?
you can't fight a black hole. Like,
Hulk might
the
win
amount
this.
of
Yeah,
like
literally.
Hulk, I can't see him losing any
Yeah,
battle
yeah.
because they've gone to the level of number one, the angrier he gets, the stronger he gets. But then
Yeah.
number two, they've done stories like there's one story called Hulk the End,
Yeah.
where he is the last life form on Earth. Like he's sitting on the planet and it's him and cockroaches. And he's like, okay, now what? Like I'm the last thing alive. I've outlived everyone. And then eventually, spoiler alert for the comic,
Yeah.
Bruce Banner dies and the Hulk lives on. The Hulk just keeps on going. Like
Yeah.
he can't go back to Banner because Banner's dead. Like he literally becomes an old man and you see Bruce Banner die. And so Hulk's like, all right, well, I guess I never have to change back to him again.
I gotta
And it's
read
like
this.
that's
Yeah.
the end of the book. So yeah, it's actually a really good story.
Oh, that's
But I
hilarious.
gotta give it to Hulk. As
I
much as
love it.
I also love Wolverine, but yeah, I gotta give it to
Yeah.
Hulk.
Okay. Well, that's great. Yeah. And I'm kind of doing all the basic heroes because this is yeah. But okay. Yeah. It's got to be Hulk, right? Okay. Next is a good matchup: Spider-Man versus Deadpool.
Yes. Okay. So this is hard for me because I'm the way you are with Batman is how I am with Spider-Man.
Yeah. Exactly.
So I've had these arguments in the schoolyards for years
Yes.
where I'm like, Spider-Man's not losing. Like every person you throw at me,
Yeah.
Spider-Man's gonna win.
Like,
Like I
sorry.
can tell you that like I remember having arguments with my friends and they're like, no, Spider-Man couldn't. And I'm like, nope, this is exactly how Spider-Man could overcome that. So Deadpool also has that healing factor. So it's like it's hard for him to keep
People. Yeah.
coming
That's the
back
plot armor in
over
my
and over.
mind. Everybody's arguing that same thing.
But two things. Spider-Man, number one, he has this ability to kind of persevere through anything. Actually, really good comic that just came out. So Marvel and DC did a crossover.
Yeah. You sent me a panel the
and
other day.
oh yeah, and yeah, it was actually from that panel that I sent you
Yeah.
where Spider-Man he's talking about Star Wars and he's holding
Yeah.
up like a he's basically holding up like a mountain.
Yeah.
And Superman is talking to him and he's like, I just scanned your bones. You shouldn't be able to hold that up. Like that weight is too much. How are you doing this? And Spider-Man's just like basically like never tell me the odds almost type of thing.
Yeah,
Where
yeah,
he's
yeah.
just like, I just do it because I have to. Like I can't there is
That's
no
so cool. Yeah.
not like there's no
Yeah.
in my mind I can't not do this. So for Deadpool, I think number one he's smarter than Deadpool, so he would
Exactly.
always find some and he's beaten like Carnage before. Like Carnage is
Yeah.
so much more powerful than Spider-Man.
Yeah.
And it's like if he can beat Carnage, if he can beat he's actually beaten the Hulk before. It's a funny
Yeah.
story. But at that time, so real quick side tangent, he got the powers
That
of
was good.
Captain Universe and he was able to fly, he was able to breathe in space, like he was able to do a whole bunch of things. He shot energy blasts and that
Yeah.
I would always say my friends, when they were coming at me about Spider-Man, I'm like, oh, he would just become Captain Universe and he would just take over your
Exactly.
guy.
Because he has. Yeah. I love that. Yeah.
But in that story, he punches the Hulk and the Hulk just keeps going into orbit, and he's like,
Yeah.
Hulk is in space, and he's like, okay, I guess I'm just gonna die up here because like there's no propulsion to
Exactly. To
get
pull him
back
back
to
down. He'll
Earth.
just float away.
So he's like, I guess I'll just like pop. Like he's like, I'm holding my breath. I'll just explode at one point. But Spider-Man flies up and brings it back down.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Anyways, that Spider-Man always finds a way, and he's the intelligence factor, I think, would overcome Deadpool. Like
I
Deadpool
love it.
doesn't have anything to counter that.
I love it. Okay, sweet. So we're going Spidey. Yeah, I also think something that something in the movies, especially with Tom Holland, I really want them to lean into. Obviously, like the arc of Tom Holland was he was younger, but I really
Yes.
think that they've nerfed the intelligence of Peter.
I
Like,
think
and I really want to see that.
yes, the intelligence and also the humor. Like and that was a big
Yeah.
thing about the Tobey Maguire where I was like, man, he's not cracking jokes.
Yeah.
He's not like he should be like Deadpool. Like the way that
Yeah.
Deadpool's like every minute he's
Just quippy. He's
saying
always,
something.
and he's
Yeah.
annoying. It's an annoyance.
Yes.
People get annoyed
Right.
with it. The bug.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I was like, I was trying to think of like Tobey Maguire. When did he ever have like a sense of humor? There's this one joke that always I remember in Spider-Man 2 when Doc Ock is in the bank and he's throwing money bags at him, and he webs a bag of money and he throws it back at him and goes, "Here's your change." And I was like, "Oh, give me more of that. Give
Yeah,
me
yeah,
more
yeah.
of those
Yeah.
type of quips."
Yeah, I always say that the best adaptation of Spider-Man for me was the Civil War Spider-Man
Ooh, yes.
in Captain America Civil War.
That
Like,
really old movie?
yeah,
Empire
exactly,
Strikes
right.
Back?
Yeah, right, exactly. No, yeah, exactly, right. And but it's just even like he catches Bucky's arm and he says, "This
Oh,
thing does not
yes.
obey the laws of physics at all." Or like, you hear like a New York accent a little bit when he's chucking back "Hey, buddy, I think you lost this." Like, just things like that are so funny. Or when he's sworn around. Anybody seen that movie Empire Strikes Back? Obviously he's like, "I didn't carbon date the kid." Like, just there's so many funny scenes with that. I think Andrew did a good job with comedy, but I think that why haven't they kept that around even more for
Yeah,
Peter? And I would hope
don't
that
know.
as he's an adult now, like I hope that in Brand New Day we see still comedy, because I just am really scared that he's like more mature and we kind of like missed out a little bit in his high school arc. But I still think that Civil War Spider-Man is like the best adaptation of all time. Super OP technology. I mean, obviously, yeah, it's just awesome. The quippiness. I love it. Okay,
Right.
sweet.
Yeah.
So let's see here. We got Captain America versus the Flash. This is the last matchup of the first one.
Man.
This is tough.
Yeah. Now, this is always hard for me because in my mind, I'm always of the opinion if the Flash can think faster than you can process something, how could you beat him? Like
Yeah.
any move you're about to do, he could immediately counter and run around you, like punch you 1,000 times
Yeah.
before you even have the chance to punch once.
Exactly.
And it's like you have to nerf him. You
Yeah.
can't be that fast and have it make sense that someone could beat you. Like I'm always I'm always holding myself back from saying, dude, Flash could like literally do anything faster than a character could even think about doing
Yeah.
something. So how do you counter that? And in the comics, they always have ways of like he stepped in syrup or something. Like there's always some way of slowing him down, or like, oh, they made him cold or something. But
That's funny.
uh
It's got to be the
Man.
Flash, though, right?
yeah. I mean, the speed to me, I mean, even in the second Avengers, Age of Ultron,
Age of Ultron. Yeah.
where Quicksilver like immediately knocks Hawkeye down and then he knocks Captain America down.
Yeah.
And he's like, you didn't see that coming? Like that would be the Flash versus Captain
would be,
America.
yeah.
Like you would immediately just trip him or knock him down, take his shield. Like I
Yeah.
think Flash would win, even though Cap would be the better fighter, the better, like you said, strategist, like those things, battle IQ, Captain America would win. But Flash and with any Flash, whether we're talking Jay Garrick, Wally West, Barry Allen,
Yeah.
any of them, the speed would be too much.
It is, and I think it's just one of those powers where it's like you can't. Yeah, you'd have.
Yeah,
That was
it's
a
hard.
great take, actually. Just you have to nerf it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But still, it is such an OP power. So yeah,
Mhm.
I'd say the Flash.
100%.
Okay, sweet. Let's go back up. Superman versus Thor. Could this be the best matchup?
Ooh, yes. And they had in the 90s, Marvel and DC had a crossover. That was funny. Like the last time they had a crossover before this new current one, they had like a Superman Thor. See, it depends on how much magic Thor is able to wield, because that's like Superman's one of his two weaknesses. I would say Superman. I would give Superman the edge. Oh man. See, and then this is in my mind, all these different factors are turning. Like, how long has Superman been under a yellow sun? Like,
Yeah,
because as he
exactly.
gets older, he gets stronger. And so it's like there's a point where Superman in the comics, there's a Superman 1,000,000, and he's been alive, like he survived the inside of a sun. And it's like, all right, there's no beating that version of
Yeah.
Superman. Like that,
Yeah.
if we're talking about like the very first Superman, which in the comics, the very first version couldn't even fly. He just jumped really high. He
Yeah.
could
Yeah. Yeah.
jump over a building, but he couldn't fly. He was like faster than a train, but he wasn't like faster than
Super. Yeah.
light.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. So all of those things going into play, I think Superman still wins because he also has that Spider-Man perseverance
Yeah.
factor,
That's a great
where
take,
it's like
dude.
he is going to win. And even in that DCKO I was just telling you about recently,
Yeah.
where it was like it looked like he was going to lose, but at the very last moment he comes through. It says he always finds a way to win. So I think
I
Superman.
love it. Okay. Yeah. So I'll put Superman. Okay. Next is Black Panther versus Wonder Woman.
Ooh, man, I have to give it again my bias towards super intelligent characters. I think Black Panther's intelligence would win out over Wonder Woman's battle IQ. I think again she'd be a good match for Captain America as far as like
Warrior
the
battle IQ.
yeah, tactician, strategist, warrior. Black Panther, I think for the same reasons as the first round, I think the intelligence along with the fighting prowess as
Yeah.
well as the technology, like that would be take the technology away.
Yeah.
And then I think it might be a little bit more fair fight. But with all of those things, I think Black Panther takes
Yeah,
it.
it's my Batman argument too. I just think
Yeah.
that when you combine technology and then you combine the smarts, but then you also throw in an actual, lack of a better word, superpower with being a super serum or, enhanced ability, enhanced
Right.
individual. I think that it could beat out all things. You know what I mean?
It's like I said, he's got so many.
Exactly. Okay, we got to cook through this. So Batman versus the Hulk.
Oh man, well, I'm in the Nate camp of if he has time to prep for the Hulk, because he's fought like you think about like Killer Croc, Clayface, Solomon Grundy is really probably the closest
Yeah.
analog to Hulk, and he's beaten all of them. Like
Yes.
Batman wins most of the time, but then on the other side, I'm like the Hulk survived a black hole. It's kind of hard to win.
This is where I
Okay.
probably I said no parameters, but part of me is kind of thinking I'm like, you'd probably want to take maybe the most mainline version of Hulk, but I guess that is because he's doing these things in current issue, or you're saying these current stories. And yeah, it's interesting, but I would still think that Batman, I hate to say he'd set a trap, but there's ways where does he nerf Hulk by never allowing Banner or pulling him back to Banner. I don't know if there's a route that goes, but you know what I mean?
Yeah.
A weakness could
Well,
be that alter ego.
Yeah. Actually, in that Superman Spider-Man crossover,
Mhm.
the Marvel DC that just came out, another story besides that one that I showed you was Superman immediately calming Banner down, like calming the Hulk. Like
Yeah.
he just flew up to him, grabbed his face, and they say in the captions he said something to him. They won't tell you what he
Yeah.
said, but he calmed the Hulk down immediately. He turned
Now
him
I
back
want to know
into
what he
Banner.
said. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Yeah.
Sun's
So,
getting
I
real
think-
low.
Yeah. That would be funny.
Yeah.
Also, something my wife says to me from time to time.
Oh,
but
me and Lauren.
think-
my Lauren always says that to me. Yeah.
I think Batman with prep time, he would figure out how to turn him back into Banner.
Yeah.
So Batman,
Okay, yeah. There it is, man. Okay, sweet. So now we have Spidey versus the Flash.
man,
These matches are insanely hard.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie. These are
And-
really hard.
these are two of my top favorite characters of all time are Superman, Spider-Man, Flash. So
wow.
that would be two of my favorites going head to head.
None of them lose.
Yeah, exactly. I think with the the comic book logic of we can't have Flash too OP, I think Spider-Man wins based on the knowledge that he's gained. He also has a ton of experience fighting
Yeah.
so many different types of characters. I think his experience would win out over Flash, as well as like the previous things that I said. I think knowing how to handle a lot of these guys. Now, if we're talking like this is the first, like Spider-Man lost to Dr. Octopus the very first time they fought. So it was like
Yeah.
he learned, like he took his licks and he got better over time,
Yeah.
obviously. So the current Spider-Man now, I think, would beat Flash. But if we're talking like an inexperienced Spider-Man would lose. But I think
Okay.
current Spider-Man would.
Yeah. I just think people like don't understand how physically strong Spider-Man
That
is too.
yes,
Like
yes. I
his
made a
power, it's not
short
just
on
he can
that.
just swing from buildings and walk up walls or crawl on walls. Like he's extremely strong and fast. You
Yes.
know?
I love that, like, explaining that to people. I did a
Mhm.
short and I talked about him lifting 10 tons and the comments were like, "What?
Yeah.
He's that strong?" And even in some of the Tom Holland ones when he's like he stops a bus at one point
Yeah, yeah,
and
yeah. Oh
my
wow!
wife
Stopped
was
at
yeah,
stopped at 1,500 pound car. Yeah, yeah, yeah. When Tony's
my
saying that,
wife
yeah,
was like, "He's that strong?" I was like, "Yes, that's
insane.
how strong Spider-Man is," because she had only known the Tobey Maguire before the, well, actually, no, she watched the Andrew Garfield too, but those ones
Yeah,
also didn't show his strength,
yeah,
so,
strength exactly.
yes.
I love it. Okay, sweet. So now we are in the semifinals. We have Superman versus Black Panther.
Dang. Black Panther has all of those advantages like I talked about, but I think
Again, I don't know if
Superman.
it's that perseverance play. I don't know, dude. It's Superman.
Yeah. It's again, without man, both of them are pretty OP, but without specifically having a weak like unless you got kryptonite in your pocket
Yeah,
or you are a magic user, those are really the only ways to stop Superman. So if Black Panther doesn't have either of those, I think Superman is stronger. Like he literally could just like stop T'Challa's punches. Like he's just stronger overall. So I
yeah,
and you throw on his super speed, like he's faster than Black Panther.
exactly.
So
He is the yeah.
the combination of strength and speed is gonna win.
It's got to be Superman. Yeah. Okay, dude. This is gonna be the hard one. Batman
Woo!
versus Spider-Man.
I've had this argument before, and again, just because Spider-Man is my favorite character, I am biased. I'm not
Yeah,
going
yeah,
to
yeah.
tell you that I'm not. I think Spider-Man wins because he is now Batman is also really intelligent, but Batman is not inventing webbing. Like he is not the level of intelligence I think that Spider-Man has. Plus, on top of that, again, the he does things that I think that example that I gave of Superman being like, "How are you doing this? You should not physically be able to do this." And the writer does not give you an explanation for
Yeah.
why he's able to. He's just like, I do it because I have to do it. Like I
Yeah, it'd
can't.
be like Batman in those situations where it'd be like some over OP plot armor piece of technology maybe would
Yeah.
come into play. I think
Yes,
of
right.
like the lifting. Like it's like,
Right.
you know what I mean?
You could yeah, and it's like and here's the thing with heroes, you can always come up with something. There's always a MacGuffin. Like there's
Yeah,
always
exactly.
something that the writer could throw in. Oh yeah,
Yeah.
there's this long thing that we don't know about.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And
What's up, buddy?
Ezra, say hello. He I got my headphones on,
The
so he can't
guest
hear, but
star.
say hello.
What's up, dude?
Say hello.
Hey, buddy.
He's shy, but Miles Morales is here. He's in the building.
There we go, man. Love it. Yeah, I love it, man. Guest star. We got to get him on the pod.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, dude, that's awesome. Yeah, it's funny because I honestly think the same thing with kind of Spidey versus Batman. I think there's an argument though because Batman's intelligence is insane. And again, it's the prep time argument, but like
Yeah.
when is that going to run out? Because Batman would beat everybody.
Right.
In my mind, I'm
Right.
like biased
Yes.
sometimes
Yes.
too because I'm like Batman would then beat like everybody that we know,
Right.
But
Right.
yeah, I think you're right, man. I think the Spidey might take that one. Again, people don't understand. Oh, that's tough because Batman is my favorite,
You
and I
could
can't
go
let it
either way.
go.
Like
That's tough.
if you said Batman wins, I could believe it. And if you say
Yeah.
Spider-Man wins, I would believe it. Like they both
Oh, that's
have
tough.
great pros and cons. Like they're both great.
Yeah, that's tough. Yeah. Okay. Well, let's go. Let's go, Spidey. Again, when it comes to comics, I mean, I think that like I trust your judgment with that. So okay, let's do
Well,
Spidey. But
they're
this
equally
is it.
matched. Yeah,
Yeah.
I was gonna say they're equally matched in a lot of ways, but Spider-Man, I give him the intelligence edge, even though Bruce Wayne is insanely intelligent, but also Spider-Man's physical abilities on top of
Yeah.
like Batman has to be augmented with technology, and Spider-Man's that his physical, makeup
Yeah,
is better
totally.
than Batman's.
Well, it leads us to the championship because we got Superman versus Spider-Man.
Oh, man.
And I'm like, what? These are your two favorites.
Yes.
This is a good. It's a biography right now into Trent right now because we get to
Yes.
see his two
Yeah.
favorites go against each other. And what does he choose?
Man, yes. Well, and we're talking. You said main version.
Kind of the
so
main versions of them in the comics, like your
I
most
can't bring
like
in.
not stereotypical, but just like your main
Yes.
line, most
Right.
known.
So we're not talking Superman 1,000,000, and we're not talking Captain Universe Spider-Man. We're not talking
Exactly.
Alien Symbiote Spider-Man. So
Yeah.
main baseline, I think without magic and without kryptonite, I think Superman wins. The thing that you could make the argument for is Superman has the Flash thing where he could move faster than you could think. So when you have that ability, it's hard to be like, before you even think to throw a punch, he's already at your face and punching you. Like,
Yeah.
it's hard for me to, number one, wrap my head around that. But number two, like, I can't think of a way to counter that.
Yeah.
So when you have that type of speed and you have the type of strength that Superman has, where he's stronger than Spider-Man, and then Superman has a level of intelligence that I also think is downplayed.
Yeah.
Now, here's another thing. Superman in the Silver Age and the Golden Age was also more OP. Like they had to lower his power level because
Yeah.
at one point he was bowling with planets, and it's like, how
Crazy.
do you
It's like, what are we doing? Yeah.
how do you stop
That's
that?
insane.
So, yeah, if we're talking about like the current Superman versus Spider-Man, I think the speed is what gives him the edge over everything else because they're equal in, I think, like intelligence level,
Mhm.
and then they both have that perseverance factor, and they both have that, like, they will always do what's right. And that's the other
Yeah.
thing that makes them my two favorite characters is that their sense of morality
Yeah.
over anything. Here's my answer, Nate. They would fight and Superman would be winning, but then they would realize that they are both great people, and they would shake hands and say, "Game."
It'd be like, you know
they would
what? We're both winning this. Like,
Yes.
let's smile for the camera. We both, like come up to the
Yes.
podium number one and we'll just hang out. Oh, that's
Yeah.
hilarious. You're right, because that would happen. They would be like, wait, why are we fighting each other? Oh, I love it. Yeah, I think I'd agree. I think that, like, again, it's like, I don't want to pull up, like, who would have access to a kryptonite or to a magic. Like, Spider-Man's not a magic user. I don't want to say, like, he would
Because
fit a magic
that would be the
user.
only reason why I would think that Shazam would beat Superman.
Yeah,
Is because
interesting.
I can't get over his magic being like one of his core elements.
It's a good take.
And that is Superman's weakness because it's the same thing with when I see him go up against, like, Metallo has a kryptonite heart,
Mhm.
and I'm like, well, how is he gonna beat? Like, you have to come up with some way of,
Yeah.
he's got lead on top of him or something,
Yeah.
like something to block the kryptonite. But other than that, it's like, wait, how does he fight someone? Or like we saw in the James Gunn Superman, where someone can create synthetic kryptonite.
Yeah.
Like, how do you like, how does he stop that?
Yeah,
And it's
it's-
like, well, he has
there's
to
always
reason
something
with
to
him, or
nerf
he
it.
has to,
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay, well, okay, then I'm gonna put Superman, but actually I'm gonna put Superman / Spider-Man because
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
I love it. How are you doing on time? Do you have to go soon or no?
Unfortunately, I do have to put my son to bed, but
Yeah.
I would love to come back, Nate, and
Let's
talk
save it.
more.
Let's save it. Yes. I
yes,
want to ask you one last question.
yes.
Let's save it because I would love to go in. We didn't even talk about current state. I actually skipped that segment. I didn't even know I did that. But we have, yeah, dude, I'm not even lying. We're putting this right back on the schedule. Okay, so I need to know this because this comic cooks. Come on. What are like 3, I put on here like best comic book storylines that any type of fan should read to get in comics. But yeah, what are like some recommendations that you think people should read, like some good run with it, like whether it's to get an intro into comics or whether it's just someone who would just love these stories, run with that. Like, what are 3 recommendations by Trent?
Yes. So Brian K. Vaughan is my number one favorite writer of all
Yeah.
time. And he has written so many amazing comic book stories. Like, he's run the gamut. He's written for Marvel, he's written for
Yeah.
DC, he's currently writing for Image, and he's got his own thing. That I think is his magnum opus. He hasn't finished it yet, but he's still writing. It's called Saga, and it is a space opera
Wow.
where it's being told. So there are two warring alien factions,
Yeah.
and a representative from each alien side falls in love with the other one. Their species are still at war. They fall in love, have a baby. The baby is narrating the book, and she's talking to you, and she's telling you this story, and it just goes in these insane, like,
Whoa, it's like a little
it
Romeo and Juliet if they survived and had a kid. Yeah,
yes.
that's
It
crazy.
is amazing writing, the twists and turns that it goes down, and like I said, it's still going, so we haven't seen the ending of it yet, but I can already tell, like, it is gonna go down as one of the best comic books of all time, and it's one of those ones that you can give to anyone and say, even if
Yeah.
you're not a comic book reader, this is a good story.
Yeah.
Do you like love? Do you
Yeah, exactly.
like just human emotion and connection, and you will like Saga. It is like the same thing we talked about with James Gunn. It's got heart, it's got humor, it's got action, all of those things. And then Fiona Staples is the artist, and she is doing things that will blow your mind. Like, and she's been the artist on the entire book. So
Yeah.
it's not one of those ones where it's like, oh, the artist changes all the time.
Right.
And it is a one consistent voice of these two creators together. And the synergy of them is amazing. So Saga, which is my current favorite comic book that is coming out right now. That would be the first one that I hand to someone.
Yeah.
Number 2, right now, I think what encompasses DC Comics is Absolute Batman, and it is what man,
That's
Ultimate Spi
crazy. Yeah, this is awesome. I love this. Yeah, this is awesome.
Ultimate
Keep going.
Spider-Man is another man, I'm debating on whether I should say this or not, but Ultimate Spider-Man was a book in 2000 where
Mhm.
it came out and it said, "What if Spider-Man, instead of being born in the '60s, a product of the '60s, he comes out today in
Yeah.
modern times, in 2000s. So instead of a radioactive spider, it is the genetically altered spider." And so
Yeah.
that's a lot of the stuff that we get in the MCU and
Yeah.
in the Tobey Maguire Spider-Man was from the Ultimate Universe. That's where we got the Sam Jackson, Nick Fury, like the
Yeah.
Robert Downey Jr., Tony Stark, like casting was in Ultimates first before it was on the screen. But the telling of a modern story, but you're using the same archetype and you're using the same character that you've known and loved for all these years. But what if they were, instead of 40 years of backstory at
Yeah.
that point in 2000, what if they were today? Absolute Batman is kind of like that, where it's a modern Batman and it's the sensibilities are different. And it's also that butterfly effect, which I love. What if you changed one
One
thing?
thing. Yeah.
All of the ripples from that. So Absolute Batman, the Joker's rich and Batman is a working class.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
he
Blue
grew up
collar.
poor. He has no money. So how does he put together, he wasn't trained, like, he couldn't fly around the world, train with every martial artist. He
Yeah.
couldn't learn all these things. He didn't have the resources, but he's still Batman. He still finds a way, and his methods are a little bit different, and he has to be like, I think he's 6'9" and, like, 400 pounds in the
Yeah.
comics or
Crazy.
something.
Yeah. He's just a
Like, it's like
beast.
this insane,
Yeah.
and so Absolute Batman, also Nick Dragata, he's doing on the art is, like,
Insane.
insane. It's, like,
Yeah. It's
making my
actually
brain
insane.
stretch.
Yeah.
So, Absolute Batman, also
Really
currently what
excited to see, like, not to chime in, but really excited to see how they adapt that into, like, even, like, an animated form. I'd love to see
oh,
it in a
man, that would
film
be
or show.
amazing, and I've seen
Yeah.
they've got some fan ones online
Yeah.
where people are, like, making their own. I'm like, "Give us this, give us
Dude,
the official
pull the
animated
axe off.
version of
Like,
this."
yeah, it's so
Oh,
cool.
man, and all of the villains that they're doing, like, Absolute Scarecrow just showed up, and
Yeah.
Poison Ivy was, like,
Yeah. Crazy.
both of
Even the
those,
absolute
Night
Robins, like, yeah.
Oh, yes, yes, man,
Yeah.
everything that they're doing in Absolute Batman is crazy right now, and it's, like, bringing people back to comic shops. It's, like, the number 1 seller, like,
Yeah.
it's competing with manga on the like, sales charts where American superhero comics, like, have never
Yeah.
been in the same top 10 as manga, and, like, Absolute Batman is going up there. Anyways, that's
Love it.
one I would give to anybody, and then there's so many great comics that are coming out right now. I would say, man,
Or
you
even,
know
like,
what?
one that you think is, like, a good well, you said Saga, which I'm really excited. I'm gonna read that. But even like, yeah, just like an incredible storyline you've seen, but run with it. I didn't want to cut you off. Sorry.
Oh, no worries. Yeah. Man, I think about both of those things, about a classic story. I think about my wife all the time, like, man, what would she like?
Yeah.
I would say honorable mention because the Supergirl movie is about to come out.
Yeah.
Supergirl Woman of Tomorrow is
Dude.
a like amazing
Yes.
comic, and the art
Dark.
on there. Oh man, there's so much to get into about her grief of
Yeah.
being the last survivor. And
Watching all of it just be destroyed in front of her eyes. Yeah.
she goes to red sun planets to get drunk because
Drunk,
she
yeah.
can't,
Yeah.
like, so she negates her powers. So that side note. But here's another one. I would say my third pick would be Fables. And the reason why that was the first comic that I gave to my wife when I met her, I said,
Yeah.
would you be open to reading a comic book? She said yes. And so I was like, what would be the perfect comic to give to someone who doesn't read comics? Fables is about every fairy tale and fable that you grew up, like Snow White, Red Riding Hood, Goldilocks, like all of these
Yeah.
classic fairy tales, almost like Nolan version of them, where they're
What?
realistic,
Yeah.
they're in the real world, and they're all together. Okay, here's Snow White
Yeah.
is in this universe, and then this,
Exactly. Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
they're all in the same, they all interact with each other. And the very first arc is a murder mystery about who killed Snow White's sister, Rose Red. And it's the big bad wolf is a detective, and he has the ability to shapeshift into human form, but
Yeah.
they draw him like Wolverine. Like, he looks like Logan walking around with a trench coat on and smoking, and he's like, that crime
You total
noir.
detective archetype. Yeah.
Yes, and that's one of my wife's, to this day, one of her favorite comics of all time. And then also they did the Telltale video game series of the Big Bad Wolf, Bigby, his story. And so you get
Oh,
to
I didn't know
interact
that. That's
and
cool.
go
Maybe I
these
should go check
different
it. I
ways.
love Telltale, dude. I think the Batman Telltale
Yeah.
suit's so good. Anyways, keep going.
That is fantastic. 100% Fables is like every volume of that story is fantastic. Also, another one where the melding of writing and art on all of these books is always 100%. Like, you can't have one without the other. And so
Yeah.
Fables is like that, where it's the same artist, Bill Willingham, and I'm not blanking on the name, but that team, that creative team on Fables is amazing. And it's something that everybody relates to. Everybody grew up learning about fairy tales, listening and hearing about all of these different things. And so what if, the Three Little Pigs are in
Yeah.
this side of the Manhattan and they're having these adventures and stories? It's just amazing. So Fables, they also had a spin-off, I think it was called Jack of Hearts.
Yeah.
That was fantastic, but that would be one that I would hand to
I
somebody.
love that. You know, that reminds me of too is like it reminds me of Shrek a little bit.
Yes, 100%.
And like the
yes,
way
yes.
that they adapt, and it's obviously more in a comedic way. Like, I think
Right.
Shrek 2 is one of the best animated films of all time. I think it's so funny. Like the cop sequence in the end, like all of it is just hilarious. But to really, you see all these people, like I that's so true. Even in Shrek 3, I think like Justin Timberlake or whoever was the young kid. Like, yeah, you see even like the Pinocchio, like the joke with the big bad wolf, but he's like, he's like really tired, and it's just, there's so many funny things. I love that. I'm gonna check those out, man.
Yes.
Fables, and I've been dying. I've read into Absolute Batman, but I'm not up to date. But yeah, I really got to get going with that, man.
Absolute
Love
Bane
it.
is amazing. Like, all of
Yeah.
the villains in Absolute Batman are like insane.
Dude, Absolute Joker. Oh my word.
Oh, yes,
man.
yes.
Freaky. Yeah, dude.
All of them are like nightmare fuel. The designs that they have on
yes.
all of these villains are like, ooh.
I love that they kind of have
I-
they have a market now to like live up to. So I'm just like so excited to see some of these just crazy. But again, man, to see that in a medium like a film or even like an animated show, like, oh, it would just be crazy to see that.
that would be.
Well, I love it. Well, hey, dude, I am
Yes.
so glad you were able to come on, bro. This was literally so fun. The fact that this is literally like, I'm not even lying, I think this might be my longest episode, and we had to cut segments. I'm so excited, dude. We're running this back immediately. Something that I want to leave us off with that I love doing with everyone is a verse of the day, man. Obviously, this is my brother in Christ right here. So for my audience watching, man, I'm going to read it. If we're reading out of Romans today, Romans 3:23, verse 23 and 24. For everyone has sinned, we all fall short of God's glorious standard, yet God in his grace freely makes us right in his sight. God bless, man. It's a great verse.
Yes.
That's a great
100%.
verse.
Yes.
Come on, man. Yeah, Oh, obviously, just this is another. Obviously, well, this is the English Standard Version. I think it was maybe. Wait, what? This is kind of read different. It said, "For all have sinned and fall short of the glory of God, and are justified by His grace as a gift through the redemption that is in Christ Jesus." Come on, I love it. Well, anyways, bro, I can't thank you enough. Like, genuinely, this was so fun. I'm gonna text you immediately after this and just find out another day that works because I want to run it
Yes.
back if you're down. But
Thank you
I
very
hope you had
much,
fun,
man.
man. Yeah,
Yes, this is amazing, and this is like the reason why I have loved podcasting since 2005,
yeah,
connecting with someone over a shared interest and feeling like I've known you for years. And
yes,
the like, I don't know how to explain it, but just the camaraderie
yeah,
of connecting with another person on a human level on things that we both enjoy and getting to also learn things about you that I did not
yeah,
know and also share things about me.
yeah.
Those are like, I love doing this. And so thank you for inviting me. First of all, thank you for
Absolutely.
noticing my son's Star Wars
Yeah,
shirt. Thank you for noticing me. And thank you for inviting me on this because this is, I love doing this.
dude. Well,
And
if you
yes,
love
let's
it,
run
man,
it
I'd
back.
love to have you back on. I already know, like,
Yeah.
even my small fan base would love to have you on. But yeah, dude, it's funny how much we sync up, which is funny because, like, I think we actually share a lot of similar opinions with this stuff, which I think is really cool. Like, yeah, I literally was sitting here, I'm like, you're literally speaking my language. Like, this is amazing. So it's awesome, man. Well, anyways, guys, real quick, Trent, tell us how to find you on any type of social media.
Yes. Anywhere where you're looking for comic books, it's This Comic Cooks. If you're looking for Star Wars, it is Trust in the Force. Right now,
Yeah,
the
yeah, yeah.
current Darth Maul animated show that's coming out right now, I'm reviewing on Trust in the Force. And I'm going to be talking about Mandalorian and Grogu very shortly. If you like comic
Yeah.
books, This Comic Cooks. If you like Star Wars, Trust in the Force.
Well, I love it, man. Well, thank you so much for being here, guys. If you like what you saw, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. I'm always on the train of like, I never want to be the corny guy who says, like, smash the like button and do this stuff. But I love to see comments. So if you guys could throw comments with like segment ideas or whether you agree or disagree, flame us in the comments, encourage us in the comments, like do whatever you got to do. But I'm definitely like telling you guys to comment. But again, Trent, thanks so much for being here. We'll see you guys in the next vid. Peace.